you are.
Well,
I don't care if you're a pedophile.
Why did you bring up whether I think you're a racist or not?
Because you call people that for no reason.
Because you wanted to deflect from this.
And then you're going to talk about me. You're going to talk about me.
I don't think that this is productive.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Hey, look,
I want to know.
look,
I want to know if you can have this conversation without having to automatically attribute an us versus them political narrative when you have a conflict with somebody. I have to be a leftist because I don't like you. That's bullshit.
But I mean, okay, Jeff, I see what
you're
saying.
Not a leftist.
But don't a lot of people on YouTube, like a lot of us, do very similar stories? Like, you know what I mean? And
sure.
You know, so what makes No Bullshit stand out from the crowd that makes you, or are you just
because he's a crybaby?
Okay, so you're pissed off at that, so you might are taking a target
at
his
joke, dude. I don't give a shit. This is sport for me. Fuck this fat asshole.
Gemini.
Wow. Really showing your true colors, Jeff, man. Great argument.
Did you have a high opinion?
I have to be fair here. A Gemini.
It's good to confirm. Good to confirm.
And for you, No Bullshit. He's saying I've had my beefs with No Bullshit, but I agree with most he said here, and then he insults Jeff. Jeff, you wear a Lord hat. Sit down. Gemini shots fired on Jeff.
Internet famous. He's internet famous.
I am internet famous. Absolutely.
Let's see the tat, bro.
But
Can we stop, gents?
So do we? Is a consensus? Okay, so we've hashed out everything. We've all said everything. Now, what do we take from this? Like, what would make everyone happy or whatever? Maybe I'm being a little bit optimistic here.
I'll say something.
Sure.
Look, Brooks, had you come out, simply watch my video. People like Cognitive Thought came out and said he had a video made on him. I think it was Tildeer, and said he watched it, took it in, whatever. You can disagree with me, but if you would have watched the video and
are you done with your call, Devin?
I've said some shitty things, you know, it is what it is. You would have completely debunked my video.
Yes, just got back.
Went on to prove every...
All right, so we're done with all the core fleshed out stuff. So basically, the big conversation that we need to have now is related to this loot box stuff.
Oh, okay.
Are you
familiar with the loot box concept?
Yeah, guys.
Listen, there'll be some amazing stuff.
Can I present this because Harton is incapable of presenting something in an unbiased way if he doesn't agree with it?
I'm incapable?
Okay.
All right, go ahead with the totally unbiased loot box.
There are essentially two very different philosophies that me and Harton have when it comes to this. I think I kind of talked to you about this a while ago. If you feel like I've said most of this before, just tell me to stop. So basically, one way to look at the loot box idea is it serves as a small value add for the viewer, where the loot box is something that's rewarded for doing something that we want them to do anyway. So for instance, you would get a loot box for donating or for subscribing certain amounts of money, or maybe for buying merchandise or purchasing something through an affiliate link, something like that, right? Basically, a loot box is a way to say thank you for doing this activity, and also we want to encourage you to do this activity. The loot boxes themselves would be a relatively uncomplicated feature. Maybe it would give you access to double the size of your emotes for an hour, or maybe it would give you access to a special type of emote for an hour, basically something like that, or maybe turn your name rainbow colored for an hour, something like that. Just small value adds that are worthwhile. That's one way to view it. Now, the other way to view the loot boxes is a much, much more comprehensive thing, where the loot box itself becomes a major product, where people can purchase them independently, where there's a separate market to trade loot boxes between people, where loot boxes can be kept and held onto and opened at a future point when the value of whatever is sold inside it is increased. So, for instance, say a 2016 Halloween emote or something like that is held onto and then opened at a later date, or sold or traded to another member for increased value. And then the idea there is that the loot box itself can drive a lot more revenue because of that separate system. So these are kind of like the two very divergent philosophies that we're wrestling with right now. What are your thoughts?
Okay. I think that the easiest way to solve this problem, let's establish first principles. Is there any disagreement between you two that loot boxes should exist in some form?
I haven't heard a good argument against it. So I think they should
so
exist
at least in
some
some form they should.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, you're both aligned on that. All right, so then the next process or conclusion we can reach is that most of the functions of a loot box marketplace or of like those kind of like future transactions can be coded after the fact. So you would want the base system and figure out what that functionality is, right? And then I think based on analytics and data and popularity of the loot boxes, you start to build in those other features, because what you want to avoid is a situation where you have built out all these future features and you have a marketplace, and you have all this stuff, and then you find out that less than 2% of your users engage in it, right?
Gotcha. Whereas if we build this feature out and like 80% of users are interacting with us in some way, then we'd know that.
Then that becomes a core aspect of your business. But unless you're informed on the data points, there's no reason to assume that before.
Well, I mean, we can make some knowledgeable things right now. If there was an ability to have a loot box and open it, like if you could donate to Destiny right now, and instead of getting, just him to read your message on screen, there was also the option to have things like there was a chance, even with your normal emote, if you just loot boxes are free, if there was a chance that you could have a custom emote that only you could use, that has a lot of value. Or if you got some very rare item, like the ability to make Steven play a game for an hour or to do a song request.
Yeah, and I think we're all on board with that, yeah.
Well, I'm actually not necessarily. So intuitively, that seems like it would have a lot of value. But in practice, if you don't have the data, we can't be sure how many users would engage in it.
Sure. So this is kind of like, in hearing this is kind of my idea forward, is that we agree that they have potential. So we start with a basic form of this in the first delivery.
That's right.
Then
yeah.
After that, we can look at expanding the functionality more. Do you think that's okay, Harkton, or do you think that having a weaker version of it on launch will weaken people?
Well, let me give you the different types of options, and you can tell me. I want to go through all the options that I've thought of, and you can tell me which options you would want to have potentially on launch. So to start with, there's items that only last for a small duration of time, and then there's items that last forever. So you could get an emote that would only last for an hour, or a username flare that would only last for an hour, and one that would be permanent until you traded it to another user. So anyways, the items, and again, these all have different durations. There'd be custom emotes, right? So for instance, during a Halloween thing, there might be like a new ghost, a special spookers or something like that. So there's custom emotes. There's username badges. So like right now we have the Bob Ross thing, or the Twitter icon, or sorry, Twitch icon.
You got like a little knight or a dragon or like a dick or something, but probably not that. But yeah, no, yeah.
Exactly. So, and additionally, like there could be CSS transforms on your name as well. So for instance, if you do the Spooker Z emote right now, you'll see that when he first comes up, he does this little shake. That's a CSS transform. You could actually have that applied to your nickname as well. So there's that. There's the ability to mute someone else in chat for only for a small period of time, like a half hour, an hour at the most. There is forcing a badge on another user. So if you get the dunce cap, you can put that on Dunebug, for instance, right? There is the YouTube/song request, where if you use this, it's a one-time use, and you as a streamer have to do it. And then there's custom things we can do, like nuke immune, things along like, so if you do a nuke mute, right? Because everyone is saying, hey, are you muted before? You could have armor that would protect you against that nuke in the event of something like that happening. So those are kind of the quick ones I've thought of. What's your thoughts on what we would want to include there for launch?
So real quick, it sounds like if you have the loot box functionality and an inventory to be able to store and utilize those, you accomplish everything that the base product would need while allowing for future expansion. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, all of these ideas are good. If we have the core functionality in already programmed, then adding all of this is trivially possible, right?
So the core functionality is those two things, and that's what I think we should write down.
Okay. I'm going to add this then as another core feature for the site. Then I'll have loot box, and then
Are you planning, when you launch your site and you move over from Destiny GG to the new system, are you going to start gating emotes, you think?
Okay, so I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing with that. But
You gotta move over. You have to be...
that's a different conversation for another time. Okay.
Who's gonna move to this if you won't move to it?
Harkton,
Come
I
on.
like my power. Okay, so there's two things. One, I like to have access to a lot of shit that I wouldn't trust other people to have access to. It actually means a lot to me. Secondly, my design principles are much different than other people's. And then thirdly, I'll lose subs moving over to the new platform. I mean, I could heavily incentivize people to. Yes, I absolutely would. By virtue of laws of consumer practice.
No, we would have a thing in so that all of your subs would keep working. There would be no transition for you at all.
Why not just design the functionality you want into the website and give yourself like admin access or something?
Well, because I have to wrestle. I don't know if that's even possible. Like, I don't know if I want part of this business to have like custom GUIs and shit built for me as a single user just because there's something that I demand that no one else would use. I don't know if that's.
Well, you don't. First of all, you don't know if someone else would use it. I mean,
I would never
potentially
give
there's
it
a
to other
use case
people.
too.
I have.
You don't know that.
I know that for sure. Like, for instance, I can see people's IP addresses, OAuths, email addresses, and stuff. I would never give that feature to another person. I don't think I would.
Probably not, but there might be some use for it. So what I'm saying is like you could build that. So I think what Dan is saying is that like, do you see a bit of a problem with you developing a product or a service that then you yourself don't use?
Yeah. No, I do. It's a different conversation. I just have to make sure. I just have to make sure I'm not losing much moving over because this is still my core business is streaming, right?
Yeah.
And I'm already on like a separate platform, so it's not necessarily the same use case. Like, well, Destiny won't switch from his platform, and he wants me to switch from mine. Well, I've already switched to a platform similar to this. And again, like you understand this, right, Devin? That if I switch, I will lose subs doing it, right? That's a hit that I took once moving from Twitch to my platform, and then I built it. Moving again, I mean, I could probably recapture most of it, but there will be subs that are lost as a result of that transition.
I understand that in concept, but I think we're thinking about different platforms. Like, what if you were just able to transfer your subs over?
Yeah, that would be like if that was possible that
like
I
if
could,
your subs didn't even know the difference.
Yeah, no, without having to like reauthorize billing agreements and everything. Yeah, that would be like a really huge thing. That would be a big deal. And then I guess if the admin tools can be built for me, then that would be something that I would probably be a lot more on board with as well. Yeah, I mean, I probably will. It's just a future conversation I have to have just to make sure that we're on
So
board.
yeah, what
really matter now.
emotes do you think you're gonna gate behind the tier 4, tier 3? Like I think Over Russell should definitely be like a tier 1 and above, for sure.
Okay, so these are different. Shit.
I'm just
Okay,
doing
well,
it for
so the
show.
problem is that, like, for me personally, I can't gate emotes behind paywalls that aren't currently gated behind paywalls. You would get a revolt doing that. You can't do that. If somebody is tier 1 subbed and they have access to every emote on my site, and then I move to another platform and I start gating things that were previously free behind a paywall, that's like cause for revolt, right? This is why people create extensions for sites and shit to get over it.
I want motherfucking game as a free emote for all the people. Okay.
No, I think you need to take Over Russell and Angel Thump and make that probably tier 4 only, so only me and Hodrick.
So like, yeah, so what I would imagine if you were talking about paywall gated emotes, what I would imagine is that these would be things with special features attached to them. So for instance, an emote is by standard, is it 36 by 36 or 48 by 48 pixel static image, right? That is like an emote. Something like that should always be freely available, or behind like the most basic subscription paywall, right? That should probably be like really basic. Now, things like Angel Thump, Abathur, and Cheekers, these are emotes that could technically be premium because they're larger, and then features as well. So like, let's say the Dank Memes emote had like, oh yeah, like the colors and shit, like stuff like that, you could argue could be gated because these are special types of things, or emotes that shake or interact with the stream in some way.
Your chat looks like fucking Forson's chat right now.
Yeah. These are things that could be theoretically gated, or emotes that are. Have you ever seen how people do like the 2x2 emotes in Twitch chat? Do you know what I'm talking about? You've got like 4s in 1, 4s in 2, 4s in 3, 4s in 4, something like that, and it'll make like a whole picture.
Don't you have one of those that like creates the eyeball lasers you have? Don't you have one of those?
I don't. I might.
I think it's on your main Twitch. Am I right on that?
It would be like Nathan Godstiny. No, Nathan God 1.
It's like 4 images that create.
Yep. Nathan God 1, Nathan God 2, and then Nathan God 3 and Nathan God 4. Yeah, so like we could make that into like one huge emote that could be gated behind like a tier 4 thing or something, right? You can do stuff like that.
We have to. One thing I noticed: how many tier 3 subs do you have? Is there any?
There are some, but Yeah,
That's
man.
such a like a
Yeah, you
weird
got to be really
situation.
careful not to use my stuff as a use case because I'm very unique in terms of how I approach monetization. Right? I offer very little to no value add for any subs. How my stuff functions is going to be a lot different than the average streamer because the average streamer will go out of their way to do things for their subscribers. For instance, playing sub games or having like sub Sundays or like talking to sub. People interact with their subs way more than I do. I'm a special use case, so try not to extrapolate too much of what I do out to an average use case because I neglect the fuck out of my subs far more than any other streamer my size. Just something to keep that in mind.
I got that, but I feel like no one like you either go tier 1 or tier 4. Like I guess there's probably some tier 2s, but like tier 3 is like a very elusive group.
Yeah, no, you're right. So like I'll give you some percentages, okay?
Okay.
So for tier 1s, hold on.
Literally a discussion about how fucked up we are going to get.
Nice. Okay. So I have like a little bit less than half as many tier 2 subs as tier 1 subs, right?
So you have twice as many tier 1s as tier 2s.
Like 2.5 times as many, okay?
Okay.
And then for my tier 4s, I have about half as many tier 4s as tier 2s.
Okay.
For my tier 3s, I have less tier 3s than tier 4s. So the problem that you're talking about does exist, right?
Yeah, no one wants like what's the point of being in tier 3?
Yeah, there's nothing. But keep in mind also, I don't incentivize it at all. Another streamer could. That's kind of up to the streamer to do it. Like,
But how would you incentivize someone to go tier 3 and not tier 4?
It's easy. You
yeah,
can definitely do that. Just look at any of the top Patreon pages. Like it's like saying like, why would someone donate $50 versus $100? And this is like to Destiny's point, where it's like, Dan, I think you might have spent a little too much time with a caviar, my dude. Like when someone comes in and says, hey, that $50 subscription plan is something I can afford, and I can support my favorite streamer, Destiny, with that. But that $100 is out of my range, right?
Yeah, the option there is good. And also it's important to me, even though, so like when I see this tier 4, tier 3 breakdown, what I think of isn't necessarily, well, that I need to incentivize tier 3s more. What I think of is that I need a tier 5. Like if I've got this many people sitting in the tier 4 level, that means that there are some people here that would invariably move up to the tier 5 level if I moved them up, because people, right, until you start to get to very slim numbers there. However, like Devin said, for the tier 3 level, there are plenty of ways you can incentivize stuff like that. Creative streamers are a really good way to look at this too. So for instance, Erin does a thing where for her Patreons, she sends out like postcards or whatever to everybody that's subbed of a certain level. You could very, very easily do
so
that.
much work.
It is. Well, she's kind of smaller right now, so she doesn't have as many people. But like, I'm sorry. When I say postcards, what she does is like she'll do like a unique illustration, and then she'll print them out of like her special printer, and then she'll like mail those out to like however many people of a certain sub level. There's stuff like that you can do. I don't know. I mean, I could spend an hour like brainstorming a million ideas. If you host a game,
well, you could just go to Patreon.
Sure, yeah, you could go to Patreon and copy. This is going to be unique to the streamer. It's going to be up to the streamer to incentivize these individual sub levels.
Do you not want to do like the $1,000 lifetime sub that we talked about?
You can, but I think what Devin said, this is a metric question. This is something you have to collect data on.
Yep.
Like it's impossible to answer what the appropriate. So like what you're saying in theory, well, obviously in theory sounds great, but like what is that number? It's none of us have the answer to that, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. We got to find some sort of mechanism in place to make T3 be just as good as T4.
That's not on us. That's on the streamer. It's up to them to decide what incentive.
Well, we have to give them guidance. Listen, part of this whole thing is streamers are stupid. So when they come over, we have to help them be successful.
But again, you're using me as a use case. There are a lot of streamers that incentivize subscriptions in a ton of ways. I don't do anything for that. You don't realize like how bad I am at incentivizing subscriptions. Like,
I don't think we should be responsible for that.
Yeah, but if we can make them more successful, why not? Like if Steven does like a video or a guide, like 10 things you need to do, or else you'll fail on this website. Like, you know.
Like I think that general like core principles are good, but in terms of like here's a walkthrough on how to be a successful streamer, I don't even know if I want. This sounds really mean, but I don't know if I want somebody like that on this platform. Like I want people that know what they're going to do, that have subscribers. Like our platform shouldn't be like a walkthrough on how to be a successful streamer. The platform should be I am a streamer, and this is going to let me do so many more of the things that I want to do, rather than like, well, here now you can come here and learn how to do stuff that you already should have been doing. You know.
Yeah.
Again, I think that like core design principles or like core like just core business practice can be good to provide a little bit of insight on. So like for instance, like maybe some sort of guidance on like how should you price your subscription tiers. If your tier 1 sub is $1, your tier 2 subs are $2, and your tier 3 subs are $55, you're probably going to be banned from the platform for being a fucking retard. Like stuff like that is probably okay. Like just like very basic guiding stuff. But in terms of like here are the things that you should offer for every sub level, I think one, there's a million other guides out there that do it. 2, I'm probably not even the best person to ask about that kind of stuff.
Well, no, there's
And
stuff
3,
I feel like they
I just
won't
don't know
know.
if we wanna
Like,
do that. Sorry, go
like
ahead.
if a tier 4 mentions you in chat, I feel like you should respond to that more than a tier 3 because that's going to subconsciously show to the users that if you upgrade your subscription, the
Yeah.
streamer is more likely to respond to you. And you have to tell that to the streamer
Ugh.
because otherwise they might not do it.
I mean, like, if that feels like a lot of micromanaging. Like, I don't want to be in the business of training people how to stream. That just sounds like a whole side. That sounds like a big headache in terms of taking on.
It's like a one-page thing you can do. Like, I feel like this guide, like, read this or you will fucking fail. Like, I think that if you don't do that, it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of bad habits that you're going to put in people where they think that something is right and it's not right.
So what we're fundamentally discussing is how much responsibility should this platform have over these users or these streamers handling their own shit, right? That's like basically what we're discussing, right? And I think Destiny and I am on this side of probably not a lot. That right? Like Destiny, like that like for the most part, broadcasters should kind of be able to figure out how to utilize our tools. But once you start getting into like the educational side of it, I'd be open to having a course, Dan.
Well, I don't think we need like a
you're gonna like
course.
this. You're gonna like this, right? That taught people best practices, and then we charged for that. Okay, that would be something that I think is good. But I don't think we should. Our mission statement is not to be an educational website for broadcasters.
No, I agree. I don't want to be educational. I just want when you come here that you use us, that you stick with us. I don't want you to leave because you came here, you did everything fucking wrong, and you failed. One of the things Sluggless said, which, you know, maybe we can do it, is make all the default options like, listen, you really don't want to fucking change this. We know what you're doing, and you don't, type of thing. So that might be a good way to do it.
Oh yeah, you could actually you could bake that right into the UI. You could do that. So for instance, what you could do is I love you, Ice Calendar. Thanks for subbing, buddy. You're a great guy. So like for instance, what you could do is like, let's say you've got the 4 sub tiers set, right? You could make 2 pages for this where you have tier 1 to tier 3 sub, and all the prices are set, and all you have to do is enter the rewards. And you could have this on 2 options, where one is the basic menu, and you have the option to click a button for advanced menu.
Oh, can we get the Clippy icon? The Clippy guy?
Fuck off, no. And when you click the advanced icon, you have the option to change more things, but maybe most users would stay away from that because they would just go with the basic default settings. Similar to how OBS is set up. If you go into OBS and you go to output, you're normally presented with like the basic options or whatever, but you can click for advanced options and get a ton more features that you can modify if you want, you know?
Are we assuming that our like the broadcasters just kind of like blithering idiots? Like, doesn't it take some like level of intelligence to like start up OBS and like start streaming? Like,
I mean, like, I don't want to blow you out, but I mean, you've talked to me about people, Devin, that you were surprised at how successful they were and how fucking retarded they are. So.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I would assume that the average streamer is a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me rescind that statement.
Yeah. But like being reasonable, right? We expect that the people that would select for this platform are being selected from the highest level of streamer, right? That
the creme de la creme.
Yeah, that if you're going to make the decision to move to a platform like this and put in this much more work, you're probably already a streamer that's doing way more than the average streamer to try to grow your stuff, right? That's a safe assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree that like it's just kind of like an opportunity cost thing. Like if I could open a full Khan Academy thing for how to be a good streamer, like I guess that would be kind of fun. But just in terms of like, I just don't care to offer it. Like Lamborghini doesn't come with like a driving instructor so that you don't crash your car. Like if you want to.
Yeah, but the Lamborghini doesn't get more money back to the Lamborghini company if you drive it correctly. And if you did, I bet there fucking would be a guide in there.
I don't know. I mean, how much money do you think Ford is because people don't want to be a Mustang driver because they look like fucking. I didn't buy an STI because I think Subaru owners are fucking retarded and they don't like teach Subaru owners like how to dress or shower or anything.
Listen, the point we're trying to make here is there's going to be a percentage of people who come here, try to use this website, and for whatever reason they fuck up. They don't know the best practices to do it. They're not going to make money and they leave, and they're not going to use it.
Yeah,
anymore.
so the core argument is that what I believe, and this might be the big disagreement. I think that most people coming here will pretty much know what they want to do anyway. I don't think we're going to get a lot of clueless streamers wandering in that are totally lost. For instance, like, and since we want to open up, hold on, I'll mute for a second because I don't know if we've enough. train of thought. So like if we're heading in that direction, most of the users that are coming here are going to be pretty knowledgeable anyway. It's not like we're taking like a random guy that comes in and he's like, hey, I've got 3 subs, I'm ready to sign up. You know, like we're not going to be taking these types of people to start with anyway. So yeah, it just seems like something that maybe be a cool idea in the future, but I don't anticipate many people coming. Like less than 2% or 1% of customers are going to be coming here failing miserably, and these are people that could have been helped with a simple guide. I just don't think.
No, I think that makes sense. I mean, I guess, but I think we should still do a guide. You'll have work to do it. I mean, you'll have time to do it.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, we'll look. That could be your thing, Harkton. There's your.
I'm not a
that's
streamer.
your project.
You're a streamer. No,
dude. You're again like, and this is just from
I don't
viewing
know
habits.
what I'm doing.
What you've seen of me, I am so outside the norm of what streamers do. And I'm not trying to like gas myself or jerk myself up, but like what I run is like very, very, very unique. So like using anything you've seen of me as like your standard use case is
All right,
so.
well, you know what? You're right. We don't have to do this.
Yeah, but we can we can talk about it a future day. Okay.
Oh, Mr. Mooten said he'll do it. He just messaged me. Okay, well, we'll hire Mr. Mooten to do it. Problem solved.
Okay. That's pretty much it then. We have like everything outlined. I mean, I can go and talk to Slugalisk then, and then make sure that I can share all these arguments with him, make sure we're on the same page, and then everybody should be good to go. And then he's got his stuff. And
We're
then
gonna move quick. You gotta watch out for all these competitors coming out of the woodwork too, man. Jesus.
Do you have any like final things that either you or Devin want to talk about, or?
What you think, buddy? Catman? Nothing, my Alexia?
No, I think we're on a good track right now. Just got to see how this stuff starts playing out, and then get concepts, and then yeah, keep going. It's good.
Yeah, and one thing, just unrelated. We might, if we can't do the adaptive payments thing, we might just have to forego taking a cut of that and just work off of some loot box.
No, fuck that shit.
Addition. Everyone's doing this shit for free now. Is the only thing that sucks.
No one's doing this for free. No one's doing this. I don't think, are they?
I don't know. People are kind of doing like, well, you saw the other thing, but they're charging a shitload to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When I look, like, I'm familiar with some of those other platforms, and a lot of them are just like, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. Anyways, I know you have a Wolfenstein stream that you have to do, so we'll let you get to that. Yep. And yeah. All right. Have fun.
Have a good time, buddy.
All right.
This is where you say good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
bye.
Thanks. Good day. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll keep you in the loop.
Cheers.
Okay. Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Incels got banned from Reddit? Oh no.
I am in the middle.
Hey Steven, remember this meme? Conductor, we have a problem. Hee good times, right?
Wow, thanks. I remember that meme.
I am in the middle. I represent the middle. I do not choose sides.
Thanks for the resub, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Gate Sleeper, you are so far off. I wish you were close, because I would be like fucking rich as fuck, but you are very, very, very far off. Holy shit.
I will not choose sides. I will not choose the left or the right, the black or the white, the red or the blue. I am in the middle.
Chad wins again, Pepe.
Nice.
Get the fuck out my way. They won't let you be in the middle. There is no place for the radical middle. They want you to be polarized.
Damn. All right, my dudes. Why did you betray us and not go on Streamer Showdown? I don't know. Apparently Chanman reached out to somebody else. Fucking
Gashigasm.
You should all spam tweet at Lily right now and ask her why I'm not on Streamer Showdown, actually. Do that. It'd be a good meme. Oh, fuck, I have like 100 emails. You fucking guys email me way too much. Okay. If you show this to a room of 100% 50 would believe this is real. If you show this to a room of 100% 50 would believe this is real. Wait, what? I'm probably going to play some PUBG with Mr. Moon. Is that okay, guys? If there is no water... Wait, what? How long is your water going to last? Wait, what's going on, Scene? Are you running out of water? Scene, we can do a community drive to mail you water. We'll do it, my dude. Do you have high enough IQ for this new game?
It's time.
Don't ever do that again, Mr. Moon.
Oh, wait, hold on. My audio shit's fucked, I think. Zach.
Are you sorry?
Alright, try and talk now?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, dude. It works.
Does it?
Yeah, you ready?
Are you ready?
Dude, did you see my guide that I wrote up this morning?
No, on what?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you all. It's on the front page of our Twitch. One